Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. We're not doing any sewing today. We're going to be doing a little bit of design work. In many of my videos, I've spoken about how important labels are for your products. I've been using them on my products for about 7 or 8 years. Prior to that, I really struggled to sell anything, and literally the day that I had labels on my first products, I started selling them straight away. So now it's just a matter of course for me to go and label every single thing that I make. Over the years, I've been playing around with different designs and different styles of labels as well. A few weeks ago, I had a viewer request that I do a video on how to order and design labels. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is we're going to navigate the website that I use to order all of my labels. Now, I did also manage to get a 15% discount for you. I've contacted the company that I get the labels from, and I've told them that I wanted to do this video. So they've sponsored the labels that I've actually got to show you at the end of the video, but they're also going to give you a 15% discount until the end of March. Let's hop on over to the computer. I'll show you the website where I purchase the labels from. We'll go and design a couple of different labels. I'm actually in the process of rebranding my labels, so I want something that's a little bit more eye-catching, and some people don't like my regular labels, so I'll pop those inside my bags and put these new ones on the outside. Let's go over to the computer. I'll show you how I design the labels. Then at the end of the video, I'll show you the new ones that have come in. Because of course, I filmed the beginning at the end. You get it, don't you? Let's get to it. Okay, I'm on Wunderlabel's website. Now I'm using wunderlabel.com.au, which is an Australian website. If you're in the UK, you'll use the UK website. There's a US, I think there's one in France. If you just type in wunderlabel.com, you'll be able to find one closer to you. Having said that, I'm sure you could order it from any of the Wunderlabel websites. I'm going to show you how I order my labels. There are 2 labels that I use. There are lots of different types of labels and stickers that you can see. You can get heat transfers. There are swing tags you can get made up. You can design your own. And everything that I'm going to show you, the basic principle will apply throughout this website as well. So you can get ribbons and cards, stickers, things like that. We're just going to stick with the personalised labels because that's what I use. So I've clicked on the personalised labels. The ones I use are classic woven labels. And there isn't any particular reason that I've gone for this one. It's just what I've used from day one. I'll click on that. And then you can decide if you just want text and symbol, you want to put your own logo on there, or if you want to have something with a little bit more bling. If you have a logo, you can go and use this one here. The one I use is just with text and a symbol. Click on Design Now. And on the left-hand side here, you can choose the type of product you want to design, whether you want your vinyl transfers or your heat transfers, swing tags, personalised labels. We will click on the label and we'll choose the size of label that we want. So change label size here. On the screen over to the right, you've got 60mm written there and 15mm, so that's the width of the current label and the height of the label. Go back over to change label size, and you've got 2 options in here. I'm going to change to the 60 by 20mm, and now I can choose the colour of the label that I'd like. So click on this tab just below it. You can see how easy it is to navigate this website. Lots of different colours to choose from in here, and once you click on, say, the yellow, that'll change the colour of your label so you can see on the screen how your labels are going to look. For the purpose of this video, I might go with a grey so that we can see everything a little bit more clearly. Off-white is the colour that I usually have my labels in. Then we can select text. So you've got here text row 1, 2 and 3. So you can have up to 3 rows of text on your labels. I'm going to replicate what I've got on my current labels. So I'll enter my text in this little box here. And if you have a look over to the right in this grey box, as I start typing my text, whatever I type will appear in that box there. So handmade in Nagambi is the first line of the text that I have on my current labels. And you can see that based on the font that we're using at the moment, it's too big for the labels. That's not a problem at the moment. We'll fix that up shortly. Line 2 of my labels, so text row 2, just says the name of my shop, which is called Stitch This. And on text row 3, I have my website details. So this is how the label looks at the moment. We've got 3 rows of text here, and the top one doesn't fit within that label. You can easily modify that by hovering over it, and you can see a little square around there. In the top left-hand corner, there's a trash button, so I can delete that if I don't like it. So I'll select that handmade in Nagambi that's too big. There's a double arrow icon on the right-hand corner. Hover over that, and with the left mouse button, I'll slide this in. And you can see how small that is now. Keep your finger depressed on the mouse, and you can increase that font. And then once it turns into a little cross, hover over it with the same mouse button, select it once and keep the button depressed, and slide that over until you're happy that it's centered within your label. I don't like the font, so back over here to the text row 1, you can see choose font, and that will choose the font for the first row only, and then you have a whole selection of fonts in here. What shall I do? Fun. You can see that the label's increased in size again. If I like that font, we can go and change that size shortly. I don't like that font. Let's look at textile. Handmade in Nagambi, I don't mind that one, so I'll keep that for now. Click on this arrow to go back where we came from. And if I decide that that's too big or too small, I can click on this arrow again, and I can make this a little bit smaller, or I can go a little bit larger, and I'll make that a little bit smaller because I have a plan for a little image to go on my label. And then I can hover over this and drag it around the screen anywhere I like. Obviously, you don't want it crashing into the other rows. This won't allow you to go outside any stitching area that's available on the label, so even if I go as high as I can, it won't let me go outside the label. Same with the left and right hand sides. I think I'll move that over just a bit more. Let's fix this one. Stitch this. Choose the font again. It's the name of my business. I do want this label to be a little bit bigger. Boogaloo. That looks okay to me. I will line that up along the side just under the handmade. I'll select that little arrow again, and I'll increase the size of this and center that in there, and then choose the font for text row 3. I will select Kaku Pop. They've got some weird names. I do not like that. Let's go with Dungeon. Don't like that. I'm happy with the Courgette font. I'm going to place my web address along here, extend that just a little bit, bring that down. It won't go down any further than that. I'll keep it lined up just to the right of those squares. This one here I can line up again. So you can just keep on playing around with this until you've got your orientation the way you want it. So if you're happy with that, I think that's too far apart. So you can see how easy it is to play around with this. After we've chosen all the fonts and text that we want for our label, if you like, you can pop a little symbol in on the right-hand side here. I've got one on my current label. There's a few different categories that you can choose from. Music, if you wanted to have a music note, you click on the one that you like. This has gone all red because everything's crashed into one another. Select this and we'll slide that across over here, and we've got some kind of a music symbol over here. It's not what I want on my labels. Let's go back and we'll go to crafts, and there's a whole heap of craft associated symbols. This cotton reel is what I've got on my current label. Again, that's gone into the center. I'll slide that on across over here. And once I've got that in place, I can reconfigure all of this if I want to. So I'll move this, stitch this across so that it's centered a little bit better. Move this one across, and I'll move this across. And once you're happy with all of that, you can save the design. You'll press this button just here. Before we save the design, I will need to log in to do that. You can come back over here. There's frame. If you want to have a frame around your label, you can select any one of those. And you can see that little frame around the outside, or not have any frame at all. And I've chosen not to have any, otherwise everything looks crammed in. Any extras, mounting holes you can have placed in your labels. So you'll have some little holes there where you can stitch. I won't have any, I just like to sew straight down. Now if I'm happy with that label and its layout, I can go back to the colour here and then have a look and see how this looks with different coloured labels. So you can choose any one of those colours along there and see how your label looks. And this is exactly how my labels are. I've got the off-white background with a sepia coloured font. I forgot to mention that we can actually change the colour of our font as well. So if we go back into text over here, select stitch this, the one in the middle, and I might choose orange. Oh, look, it changes all of them. Well, there you go. So it looks like you only have one colour option with your labels. It's a reddish colour or burgundy. So once you're happy with the colour that you like on the background colour that you've chosen, you can now go and save your design. You don't have to save it. You can go straight to ordering if you want to. You can change the size of your label as well. So if we wanted to, if we thought it was too big or there wasn't enough to put on the label, you could go back and change the label size as well to a smaller label. But you can see once you do that, you don't get all of your fonts in that area. I'll stick with my 60 by 20. I'm happy with everything else. Now I'm ready to save my label. To be able to save a design, you do need to be logged in, so you'll need to create an account for that. I'll save my design. We'll give it a name, Classic Woven Label on Cream. And these are my standard labels. You don't have to put all of this information in here. It's just that I've got quite a few designs saved in my other account. Save that. And if we wanted to make any changes to our label, you could go and do that now. Say, I don't like Stitch This. I want to call myself Christine. That automatically changes it. I can update the design, or I can save the design. So anytime I want to have a look at my labels, I can click on the home screen. Up here beside your profile, click on that little arrow, go to My Designs, and you can see the different labels that you've already designed. And then you can just go into them, re-edit them if you want to, or you can just place an order. These prices here are going to vary depending on which country you're in, and you can order as many labels as you like. I started off with 100 labels in my first order. I used them up really quickly, and I think now I order 1,500 labels at a time. So that's the classic woven labels. Let's go back to products, because I'm designing a new label. I still want my personalized labels, so click on that. And down here they have some leather labels. And these are the new ones that I've been using recently that have got Christine Made It on it. I've decided I want more of a brand on my labels now, so this is the label that I'm going to be using. There's a couple of different options for label sizes, 60 by 15. I decided to go with 60 by 30. The text, there's options for 3 rows again. In this one, I'm only going to use 2 rows. The first row, I'm doing the letters CHA. And on the second row, I'll put Australia. Grab Australia and place that down here. And CHA is Christine's Home Affairs. I wanted to have an acronym that was a little bit catchy, and I thought CHA Australia looks like a really cool brand name. At least I think so anyway. Now that we've done that, I'll select the font for this one again. Now in this one, I can actually resize the box. Select that, and this arrow, I can resize it again, just as we did before. But I can also rotate the box. So if I want this on a little bit of an angle, I can slide that on over there. I can move Australia over here. This one here, I can continue to make that bigger. Keep moving that around. I can rotate it a little bit more. Go back to the text row, and then we'll select the font for Australia. And I kind of like that. I can rotate that a little bit as well. I would change the rotation of this again. So if I'm happy with those fonts, we can get back out of there. If I wanted to have a symbol, once again, I would choose a symbol, and this time around you can choose a few different symbols. So let's go with the craft symbol. I'll get the eye of a needle. I'll pop that over here. I'll rotate that, make it bigger. It looks ridiculous, but we're just having a play. So I've been playing around with the labels, and this is the finished design that I'd like to have. I've got the CHA in really big heavy font there with Australia just lightly written underneath, and I've decided to put a symbol there, which is that little cotton reel. I'm happy with that, and I've actually gone ahead and ordered these labels in 2 different colours. If we go back to labels over here, we've got our label size in here, so you've got lots of different sizes and shapes that you can use for these faux leather labels. I'm happy with the size that I've got at 60 by 30 millimeters, which is the same size as my Christine Made It labels. And then down here, you can choose which type of label you'd like to have. So there are leather labels in 4 different colours. So that's 100% genuine cowhide or goat hide. Then you've got your premium faux leather, gives you a little bit of information about them there. The faux leather wood grain, and that's the style that I've actually got selected here. So you can change your colours in there. And with these particular labels, you can't actually change the colour of your font. So whatever colour the label is, you'll see behind it what colour the font is going to be. So that's the colour that I've chosen. If I've made any changes, I can update the design, or I can save it as a new one. So if I wanted to change the colour to a purple, for example, but keep everything else the same, I could save this as a new design, but I would make that purple instead. and save that. So again, I can go back to my designs. So these are some of the labels that I've got saved in here. This is my original Handmade in the Gambia label, which is what I have on all of my products. Christine Made It is what I've been using on my bags for a while, but I feel that they're not gender neutral, and most of the time it's people that are called Christine that are purchasing those bags. So I think Char Australia is a really nice fitting label with what I do. At least I hope so. So you just go ahead and order your labels as they are. You can click on that, and if you're happy with everything the way it looks, you can select how many labels you'd like to order and go through the order process. That's pretty simple to do. Now it's a couple of weeks later and my new labels have arrived, so let's check them out. So these are the labels that I've been using for several years, and the Christine Made It labels I've been using for quite some time. My new labels have arrived, and I've chosen two different colours. They're both a faux leather label, and I've ordered about 150 or so of each. And the reason I've gone with two different colours is because when I place these onto my fabric, sometimes the darker one doesn't look so crash hot, and then I need to put a lighter one on there. So here they are. Char Australia with a little cotton reel is all I've got on the labels. I haven't yet had a chance to use this one yet, but this one I do love. It's my favourite so far. I did make something up this morning. I've had a little bit of trouble with the tension on my machine, but here you go. This is the new Char Australia faux leather label that I'm putting on all of my products. That way, whether you're a man or a woman or anything in between, you can still purchase these, and they're not specific to Christine Made It, or they don't have the more boring labels that I have on my bigger bags. On the inside, I still have my Stitch This label, which has got my website address, so if anybody saw these bags, wanted to purchase something similar, they know how to contact me. You know, I can't stress enough how important labels have been for my business. I've made several thousand bags. I think I'm up to nearly 4,000 supermarket shopping bags, and all they have is this label here. It does actually make a huge difference. I've had many people come in and say they buy it because it's made in the Gambia, or they buy it because of the story that I have behind my rescued fabric mission. But I cannot stress enough how important labels are for your business. I hope you found that video really helpful, that it makes it a lot easier for you to navigate the website. You can order anywhere in the world. Even though I started this video a couple of weeks ago, these labels only took about 8 days to get here. That was pretty good, I thought. And Wunderlabel have been good enough to give us a 15% discount, so that's really good too. I will pop a link in the description below for the discount code, and also to go directly to Wunderlabel's website. Doesn't matter what country you're in, you can click on that and then navigate to one closer to you. I am affiliated with them, so I do get a little bit of a kickback whenever people order labels from them. But look, I really do believe in these labels. They've made a huge difference to my business. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.